Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It's Mario again from Virtual Window Shop. Hey, I just want to catch you up on all the stuff we've been doing. There's so much going on. I was thinking recently, I thought it was just Appsketier who's actually doing these devious things, but there's a long line of developers who are falling into this deception, trying to steal from the people's pocket right now. And it's sad because every corner I turn, there seems to be somebody else waiting in the dark trying to take your money. Now, we had done so much with Appsketier, we actually took him to court, and we would have continued, but what I said before is that he was continue playing these games. We would have spent more money just trying to get him to pay us back. He never paid us back a single dollar. He's not going to pay us back a single dime because he doesn't care. The man is ruthless. I don't really care what he thinks. I know he's watching these videos. And you'll notice that when we started posting our videos, you see some guy from Appsketier trying to describe how apps work. And I seen his videos. That's all a deception. It's all set up to make you think that he's a legit app builder. When we were going through them, he was not a legit app builder. We proved that. We have the documentation that was done by lawyers and attorneys. We send this to professional companies who runs a program in Germany, who are developers themselves, saying that Appsketier is nothing but a fraud, and they're actually just a company that should never build apps. And I don't know what they're doing now. If they're doing something better, I doubt it. But they seem to have the backing of a lot of companies. But they place themselves in this situation where they try to make themselves look good. And I started speaking about these deception acts, how they do it. He controlled the reviews. He made you do reviews in the beginning, making him look like he's great, and that led to other stuff. When you saw him in big like a magazine. I don't want to put the magazine out there because I don't know if they'll sue me for that. But he placed himself in the magazine, and then of course that came because of all the hype about him when he was really not building anything. And of course his hype gets bigger and bigger, and then people start looking, well, who's this guy? And then they start building, and of course more victims come out. They showed me one vendor right now, or a person who's trying to build an app, and I read his line. He said he's been building it for a year. Hey, buddy, if you're listening to me, you need to call me. You need to email me, because if you're already over a year on an app that should have taken only 8 months, he's not building it. You need to call me. You need to text me. You need to email me so I can tell you what to do, because you're about to lose your money. Now, there's another alternative to this. Every time I speak or say something, he seems to like trying to make deals with all the people I spoke to. He starts paying back a little bit of money, something. But no, I actually believe everyone should get their money back, all of it, full money, But let me go further. There's other companies I want to talk about. We never got there. SemNexus is one from New York. We took a program to New York, and New York SemNexus said they didn't know if they could fix it, which I didn't even know was broken until SemNexus inspected it. They said, Mario, you might want to get this looked at, and they're going to try to get it together and fix it to a certain point. But then later on, I realized that when we took it to Germany, the app and the developers there said that this was not an app. It shouldn't have even been sent. It didn't even function as a demo. Basically they were trying to figure out how to make an app, basically, and they made a mess. So it was never deployable to begin with. But later on, wait a minute, SemNexus should have known that. They should have known this was not deployable, but they took the money too. They took the money to create something that they couldn't fix, and they should have known because they're professional developers. But I think they saw an opportunity there. I think they saw this, hey, this guy might never figure it out, but I figured it out. Because the first thing I said, well, maybe I'm overshooting here because they didn't know. But then when I started to contact them after we had that report from Germany, they cut off ties with me very quickly. And I didn't cut ties with them. I didn't suspect them of anything until they weren't responding back to my phone calls or my emails. They just ignored everything. And then I realized, did they do it too? Because they had to know, right? They had to know, they're developers. They had to know that this app could not get improved. But they took the money and they and they said they were building it. Now this is before we know that the app was damaged. I thought they were going to tweak it. They're going to fix the photos. They're fixing all this stuff, and yet we still don't know at this point if it's fixable. So, with that set up, that's when the company came in and showed us it was no good. It was a demo. SemNexus cut ties with us very quickly. They didn't respond back to any of our emails. And when I see the report back, what they were going through during our time period, they were suffering with money. I did a background check on them, and they were in trouble because they couldn't afford to pay their employees. That's the time I came in, and they took my money to fix their issue, I believe. And they're back because of me, I'm going to say, because they didn't have anyone. And I need to look into that too. So SemNexus, I wish they would just call me and let's clear this up. But now I'm going to throw them under the table now because they don't respond. And if you don't respond, you're hiding something, basically. So that's another company. And then we talked about Marketing 360 from Colorado, a program company that does a lot of advertisement for you for marketing. They use analytic stuff that you can get free from Facebook, stuff you can do on your own, but they charge you. They charge you almost $6,000 every 2 weeks. But we checked them, and when they were trying to advertise it, they were marketing for us. We actually went into the system to see if anybody entered our system, and zero, none. 2 weeks went by, and we're supposed to pay them again. I asked them, what did you guys do to improve the app? And they said, oh, we came out with some keywords. So no, you didn't. You just came out with those keywords 10 minutes before the meeting. They came out with those keywords, and they were crappy keywords for the business. I said, I paid you for 2 weeks, and they didn't do anything. They take the money so they can pay the employees, so they can build the real apps. They have a higher business people who pay a lot more money, So I caught them in the act, and eventually they sent me back my money. They sent me back over $7,000 because I told them we monitored them, and we knew they were at home too. So when they said, oh, we're working on that, I said, no, you're not. You're at home. You're not even at work, And they didn't know how we figured that out because we had that developer we're going to talk about right now. We had to monitor them. So we had one scammer versus another scammer. It was interesting, right? Which brings my third one, my fourth one. I've been with this company for a long time. It's called Angelwebpromotion. Angelwebpromotion from India. We've been together for years. She's actually seen me go through all these trials, and she used to do all she worked my app. She worked on my website. She worked on a lot of my marketing stuff, and she's been on point. She did a lot of videos for us. All those videos you see. And then one day she tried to convince me that she could build apps too. Her company was App Builders. And I said, I never knew that. She worked for a different company called KPL in India. She went by the name of Melissa. So we known each other for a long time. And I trusted her. And to find out that she fell into the dark force of evil to screw people over. So here we got another company known as Promotion, who decided to follow the same path everyone else is following. And then I realized later, after we paid her so much money to do a multi-app for our bookstore, that what she delivered was nothing. She wouldn't even release the source code. She is about the worst of all of them, which is incredible because she knew the stuff we went through, and she still continued. She knew what we went through, and you would think she would have a heart not to do what she did, but she did. She went into a point where she controlled our program, put it on her program, used decoys to pretend that she was using our AWS, which is Amazon, but she put it on her program, and now she won't really allow us to look at the source code. Not only did she do that, she broke so many trusts with Apple. She removed us from all this stuff. Did she create an app? Yes, but we never allowed to see the source code, and we should have the right to see the source code. This is the one I'm going to be talking about next. This is the one because I have a lot of proof now with her because we've been together. SemNexus is going to take a while, and of course, Marketing 360 is over. We settled that, but they wanted me to remove the review I put on the review board, and I said no because people need to know they did what they did, and it's sad, you know. But so now the next one we're going to be talking about is going to be Angelwebpromotion from India. We got lawyers on her too, and we're actually pursuing a lawsuit. And she continues to hold the source code. And she used a lot of the people that are following me, and she's trying to reach a lot of you guys. And she reached one of our viewers, and she convinced her. And I didn't know that. You know, I didn't know that she did this work behind her back. And that is sad, because I'm telling you right now, anybody reaches you that says they work with me, you need to email me first. I can tell you the truth. But at the moment now, let me go back to Appsketier. Appsketier seems they're not. It looks like they think they're gonna get away with it. But like I told you guys, I'm just one of those guys that continues pushing. I'm still alive. I'm still breathing, and I'm never gonna stop. I'm going to push until he stops. I'm even thinking about going back to Georgia and picketing and going around his building, and so people can see what he did. I want to bring all the paperwork to the citizens of Georgia, you know. So it is sad to watch him do that. Now there's a huge thing going on right now with a Lego company, a person who lost all their Legos, $200,000. The biggest story right now. He lost a lot of money by this guy ripping them off. There's no difference between Appsketier, you know, what he's doing, and this one guy's doing, stealing Legos. They're both protected somehow, and I see those guys, you know, trying to get their money back, what they have to do just to get it. It's amazing, because these people are being protected. There's no law against them. They can continue to do what they're doing, and Appsketier is going to continue doing what they're doing. So, but let me explain real quick. When you watch the videos and you see this guy talking about, I seen him. I clicked on one of them. Let's see what he's talking about. He's trying to make himself legit of what you have to do in order to make sure your app is developed. And I'm telling people right now, if you're an Appsketier and you're on level 2 or whatever level you're on, I tell you not to sign anything until it's fully completed. Make sure your phase should last. You should review your phase about 2 weeks. Get people to look at that phase before you go to the next one. Don't sign. I'm telling you, find a reputable developer that can ask the right questions to make sure that Appsketier answers it, not to you, but to them. That's what you really need with them. And I'm sorry that he's going to make it sound like you have a great relationship with him, and he's going to try and make everybody else look bad. But you don't have a great relationship with Appsketier. He's just using you at the moment. And I asked him to come and sue me, because last time I heard, the lawyer said they put a lawsuit against me or whatever they're going to do. I said, yeah, please call me to court. I am happy to go, because I have all the documentations to show the judge what this guy did. Him, Zach Shire, you know, Nick Burgess, that's his name, Nick Burgess, or Nick NJB. One time he wrote NJB. I was laughing. I go, that's when people write their initials, like he wants to make a point. He said, signed by NJB. I said, whoa, my Lord, this guy's so much into himself. The last thing I say about Appsketier is that he's really into himself. Anything you say bad about him, he takes it to heart. It bothers him. It really does. If I say everything I'm saying now, I'm using his name, he really gets like, he